We are gathering online, online. Everyone is here now, learning from home now. We are here, we are here. Okay, avid readers, today we are going to be working on finding just right words to show our thinking. And what I mean by just right words is precise words. What does that mean? Can you say precise? Precise means the exact words. I want you to think back to the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Do you remember that story? We had Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear, and Goldilocks. And everything that Goldilocks tried that belonged to Papa Bear was too big, too hard, too hot. Mama Bear's was too soft and too cold. But Baby Bear, everything was just right. So we want to find the just right words. Happy and sad are very good terms, but they're not specific. They're not precise. They're not just right. And that's what we're going to aim for, because there are different ways, different kinds of sad. There's lonely sad, there's disappointed, there's frustrated, there's upset, there's even annoyed. And there's different types of happy. There's joyful, gleeful, excited. There's all sorts of levels of feelings. And when we read stories, we need to be able to understand precisely how the characters are feeling. So we are going to be looking for those just right words so that we can, 1, name the feeling, and 2, think about why. Why do the characters feel this way? So we are going to revisit the story of Not Norman.
Not Norman, a Goldfish Story by Kelly Bennett, illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. When I got Norman, I didn't want to keep him. I wanted a different kind of pet. Not Norman. I wanted a pet who could run and catch, one who could climb trees and chase string, a soft furry pet to sleep on my bed at night. Not Norman. All Norman does is swim around and 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 This is it, Norman, I decide. I'm trading you for a good pet. Norman doesn't move. Not even a fin twitches. How can I trade him like this? Who will want a sorry-looking fish in a gunky bowl? When I drop Norman into his nice clean bowl, he starts dipping and flipping, flapping his fins around. He looks so goofy I have to laugh. Don't think just because you make me laugh I'm going to keep you, I tell him. Tomorrow, you're out of here. Norman blows a stream of bubbles. The next day, I take Norman to school with me. If I talk him up real good during show and tell, maybe someone will want him. On the way there, we see my friend Austin. Austin has a real cool dog and 7 puppies. Want to swap one of your pups for Norman, I ask? Who's Norman, asks Austin. My goldfish, I say. By the time I rescue Norman, half his water is gone. I'm sorry, I tell Norman when we get to school. I'm really sorry. He just stares at me all googly-eyed. Finally, it's my turn to show and tell. Just as I start to talk about goldfish, Emily shouts, "Jenny's gone! Who let my snake loose?" Does anyone hear the story of how I got Norman? Does anyone even ask to hold his bowl? No, they are jumping and screaming and chasing the snake. Not Norman. He's looking right at me. Thanks for listening, I tell him. That afternoon, we go to my music lesson. As soon as it's over, I'm taking Norman back to the pet store. I take out my tuba and begin to play. Ba 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 ba, ba 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 bo, bo 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 bee. I glance over at Norman. He's swaying back and forth. Glug 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 glug, he mouths. Look, Norman's singing, I say. Pay attention, snaps Maestro, and try to play the proper note. Maestro makes me stay for extra practice. By the time my lesson is over, it's too late to go back to the pet store. Don't think that just because you like my music, I'm going to keep you, I tell Norman. He glugs. Glug. That night, I'm sound asleep when screech, screech. What's that noise? Scratch, screech, screech. Yikes, there's something at the window. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I spot Norman. He isn't scared. He isn't swimming around in circles either. He glugs, gives a little wave. I'm not alone. Together, Norman and I slide open the curtain. And you know that noise? It was just a broken tree branch. Thanks for watching out for me, Norman. On Saturday, I take Norman to the pet store, just like I said I would. I look at the cats and dogs and snakes and birds. I look at the hamsters and mice and lizards, too. They all look like good pets, but they are not Norman. When I got Norman, I wasn't sure I wanted to keep him. But now, even if I could pick any pet in the whole world, I wouldn't trade him. Not Norman. The end.
Did Norman have moments where he felt frustrated or disappointed or sad? But there's different types of sad, isn't there? There's different types of happy, isn't there? There are moments where Norman felt proud and even appreciative. And those are different ways of showing happy. And so as we read stories, think about the different colorful words that you can use to understand the thinking, the feeling, and the emotions of the characters that are just right. Let's play the game of Guess That Feeling. I'm going to show you some pictures, and I want you to think about how these kids or characters are feeling, and we want to use precise words, the exact feeling that these characters or kids could be feeling at the time. You ready? Here we go. How's Mr. Lord feeling? We don't want to use the word happy, and we don't want to use the word sad. We could use words like joyful. What about this guy over here? How's he feeling? Would you say that Owen is surprised? You can tell from his eyes and his mouth. What about over here? How's she feeling? She is feeling proud. What about up here? How are they feeling? We always want to use the body language. And if we have the story, we want to look at the actions that lead us to those events. What about this guy over here? How's he feeling? Don't say sad, don't say mad. He could be angry or furious. What about him? He sure seems energized. So, boys and girls, now that you are growing as readers and you've come across more words, your language is growing and growing and growing. So when you write, when you speak, when you read, you can use precise language to show the world what you are thinking exactly.